without further ado, I'd like to invite Kevin Colombo from Roller. Roller is a cloud-based venue management platform. It is designed to enhance the guest customer experience, includes online checkout and ticketing, point of sale, integrated payments, membership, gift cards, waivers, self-service kiosks, cashless wallets, and a guest experience score. So over to you.
I'm done. She said it all. I don't have anything left to say. No, in all seriousness, so just a little bit about Roller. We're Melbourne-based. We started off in Melbourne 12 years ago, and we actually started off in hospitality. We were trying to figure out how we could book our favorite VIP areas in our favorite nightclub, and we came up with Roller. From Roller, where we went was naturally into the leisure and recreation space, because obviously tourism in Australia, that makes a lot of sense. And what we've done is we started with Adventure Park. We started in Melbourne. All our development team is based in Melbourne. And since then, we've developed out into the London office and the Austin, Texas office. We work with 1,850 customers, and in the last 12 months, we processed $4 billion through the platform. So we're no small fish, but we've been in the game for some time. This is us, and this is just a quick glance at where we are at the moment in terms of a snapshot. So 1,850 customers, 29 plus countries, $4 billion processed through the platform in the last 12 months, 140 members of our team, and 100 million experiences. We just call anything that's a ticket really at a leisure and recreation, we call an experience. It looks good on the bottom. Some of the brands we work with, now these are global, these are everywhere, but you know, we'd recognize a fair few from around here. Wonder World, Chipmunk, Slick Cities in the United States, Climb Zones in the United States. We work with Sky Zone. They're the largest trampoline group in the world, 370 venues globally, mostly in the United States. Altitude, Elevate, these are just large groups that we work with, and you'd recognize some of these other ones, Flip Out and Ninja Warrior. Now we're just bragging. We're on the third page of logos, so I'm gonna skip over that. Yeah, just quiet, humble brag. We're doing okay. So the key things about Roller is we focus on three major tenets. As a venue, what we want to see off the back of implementing Roller is, number one, we want to see you drive your revenue. We want you guys making more money. That's flat and simple. That's a very easy metric to look at. Number two, we want to streamline your operations. I can guarantee you at the moment, there are certain things that are happening within your business or into your future business that are taking longer than they need to happen. An accountant that takes 3 hours instead of 6 hours costs you half the price. Being able to issue refunds at a click of one button rather than going into another payment platform, issuing the refund, going back into your booking platform and marking it as refunded, that's laborious. And you might say, hey, that's 10 seconds, 20 seconds. But if you do that 500 times in a month, we're talking about some real time here. So we obsess over customer success. We focus, this is our one tenet that we want to always be focusing on, is how do we make sure this succeeds? The other secret tenet is to be ferociously innovative. In the last 12 months, we've released 62 features into the platform. Now, you'll remember just before we mentioned that this is a cloud-based software, which means that if we release 62 features into the platform, you guys have access to 62 features that we've released into the platform. There's no, hey, you've got to wait for Windows 95 or Windows 98 or Millennium. Oh, we don't talk about Millennium. Now, our aim is to get you guys thriving, your business thriving. So we work with you, we listen, we work with all of our customers. We have regular sessions. We announce what we're going to be developing. Our pipeline is completely open and completely visible. We have a voting system built into the platform so you can see what features you like, and then you can say, hey, I want that featured pushed to the top. We help you understand your needs. We work with you. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting. We mentioned we touch a lot of the sales process, if not almost all of it. So we go from ticketing to the point of sale where those things are redeemed and checked in. We have the venue management system where you can manage your waivers, you can manage your gift cards, you can manage your payments. You can choose, if you could, from one moment to another, you can turn on or turn off Amex if you wanted to. We're talking about memberships with reoccurring billing. We're memberships that are annual passes that you pay at the beginning. Now, the benefit of Roller is everything's interconnected and none of that data is siloed. So when you're on the bookings page and you click onto a booking, it can take you directly to that booking and then show you exactly all that information. When you're trying to manage memberships and you're like, oh, I'm not sure about that one, let me click on that transaction, it'll take you to the transaction element. Everything is within a click. There's no, hey, let me write this down, let me jump into Combank, let me jump into ANZ, WorldPay, Opaya, whatever it may be. You don't have to work with multiple systems. And that economy right there is what sets businesses up for success. We see it day in, day out, where people come in and they're using 5, 6, 7 different platforms to achieve the same thing you achieve in Roller. And it's not just the cost. It might even be cheaper to use 7 platforms. But at the end of the day, what it's not cheaper in is your time and your effort and your headaches. You have to keep pulling those in. You have to reconcile all those different ones. You have a different ticketing than point of sale. Well, and how do you sell memberships online? It's a different ticketing system than your point of sale. So how are you going to do that? How do you redeem gift cards? I buy a gift card for my nephew. And I go, oh, man, I bought you a gift card. Go have fun at Kevtopia. Well, how do you use them in store? So having an all-in-one system makes everything seamless. Like you have your membership in your Apple Pay, in your Apple Wallet. You have your gift cards in your Apple Wallet. You have your tickets in your Apple. Everything's in one centralized location that you can use. So having these things connected, like the online checkout, and then have the waiver be connected, the party management area, the point of sale, everything interconnected means it's sharing the data. And what we don't want to do is siloing our data. So what we try to do is we want to grow your business because we succeed when you succeed. So our goals are always collaborative. Now, our 3 main opportunities to drive ROI are the online conversion rate. We are outperforming our competitors day in, day out on our online conversion rate, and we can prove it because we're both the payment aspect, we're the online ticketing, we're the venue management. We have all this clearly visible. Number 2 is basket size. We are seeing basket size grow from the previous incumbents regularly. And the reason we've done that is because we had a really good online checkout system 2 years ago, and 2 years minus 1 day, what we decided to do was scrap the whole thing and rebuild it all over again. And we rebuilt it when we didn't have to, and that's usually the sign that things are going well, because when you have to rebuild something because you have to, that's where stress and mistakes get happening. So we plan our pipeline 12 months in advance. We leave a little bit of gap so we can make sure we deal with things like GDPR or a CrowdStrike issue. Not that that's had any. We actually came out of that pretty unscathed, so we're pretty lucky. Lastly, up there is admin time saving. Now, these are 3 things that are not necessarily sexy when you're talking to people in terms of selling points, but they're the points that make the difference in your business. If you're converting more often with a larger basket size than normal and people are taking less time to get these things accomplished, it is just profitability. That is just success. That's money that you can pour back into the business or go to the Maldives and drink margaritas. I vote for the latter than the former, but I think investing in the business is a close second. Now, AirHop is a massive trampoline group out of Europe. We tracked all their online conversions, and then they switched to progressive checkout. You can see right here, obviously I've left out any figures that are of any use, but as you can see, there's a dramatic jump. That's a real graph, by the way. I just didn't put any of the numbers on it, and I probably should have. But we can document, we can prove, and we can have these people attest to the fact that these are real changes. Whenever we have these points that we're kind of bragging about, these are people who are willing to speak to you. These are public case studies that we have on our website. If you called me up tomorrow and said, I want to speak to them, by the end of the week, you'd be on a call with them. So I have no problem making that statement. Now, what we're talking about is a 15% uplift in inflate and pins. They went from 13 pounds to 15 pounds. That represented a 15% uplift. They ended up processing over 3.8 million in 7 transactions. In 7 locations, excuse me. Bounce Inc., I'm sure we're all very familiar with Bounce. Very popular, very well-articulated brand. We work with them. They've ended up saving $25,000 annually from roller payments just alone. Roller Payments is our partnership with Adyen. We stay completely transparent about anything you ask us, we'll tell you. It's a white-labeled partnership with Adyen. There's 2 payment processors that are kind of leading the way globally at the moment. That's Stripe, and that's Adyen. What you'll notice about both of those, neither one of those are financial institutions. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent. I did payments for 3 years, and it just blabbers out. But what you'll notice is neither one of those are financial institutions. They're both tech companies, and there's a very specific reason for that. Financial institutions have tons of stakeholders. They have a lot of people invested. A lot of people they have to answer to. So when they do an initiative, they try it out, it fails. Oh, well, even failing takes time. Tech companies, they go scrap it, scrap that project, move to the next thing. So what we're seeing is we're seeing Stripe and Adyen being the leaders in the payment space. Now, the way I would describe them is Stripe is like the people's payment processor, and they're very good, and they tie into a lot of things, but they're expensive. We're talking 30 cents, 1.75% for domestic. We're talking 30 cents, 2.9% for international. That's very expensive. We use Adyen. We have what's called roller payments. We've obviously white labeled it. But as a result, what we're able to do is have a core integration. That core integration allows more functionality than a simple third party. So we can do things like we can charge a card after they've left. We have a big problem where people have birthday parties, they have a great time, they pay the deposit, they order a couple other things, and they forget to finalize their payment and close it out. I use the term forget very loosely, but they don't pay it is what the end result is. We're now able to charge that card after they leave. We can issue a refund even if they paid with card present. We can issue a refund without them tapping their card or having their bank details. We can do regular or scheduled billing, memberships with reoccurring billing. You can choose how frequently you bill. You can choose how long your membership is. You can make it an annual. You can make it, okay, well, we bill every 2 weeks for the next 5 weeks. Whatever you, well, not the next 5 weeks, that'd be weird, but you know what I mean. So the flexibility of Roller is really where it excels. We've tried to build it in a way that was not necessarily industry, that was necessarily industry agnostic, in the way where anybody can jump in and it makes sense and there's value for you to be had there. And we did that by building in the flexibility. That flexibility was not easy to build in, but that's neither here nor there. Lost Island reduced their staff training time by 63%. Now, this is the least sexy of all the things, is like the training times, the optimizing of time. But if you work in a venue, you know that if you can get a staff member up and productive 63% faster, then you're making more money off them. They're not just trailing behind. They're not dragging. You're not paying somebody to just kind of sit around. They're getting up and going. What we have is it's called Playground. Playground is an exact replica of your live environment. You can do whatever you want in there. You could do anything you want in live Playground. In Playground, it'll have zero impact on your live environment. It also provides you an environment where all your staff members can go in and train. We do in-platform notifications for anything, any new features, any new functionality. And then what we do is we go, hey, go spend 15 minutes and go learn that functionality in Playground, and now you can go teach the next person, or you can learn how it works. All right, so you've heard me blabber on for nearly 12 minutes, and I apologize. What I will just say is Roller overarchingly, this is the last slide here, so, but Roller overarchingly, we work on the premise that everything should be interconnected. You should have a single source of truth for all your operations within your business. Now, there are scenarios where we prefer handing off to the best in breed. There are things like we're not going to go build an email marketing system. And though it's achievable, we could probably do it. There's 20 companies out there that are doing it better than we'll ever do it, and we won't catch up. So why would we do it that way? What we do is we look out for best in breed, we partner with them, and then we build a core integration so that information flows both ways. It's 2.5 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions that they might want to ask? All right, well, for the first time ever, I think I'm not going to go over time. Thank you for listening, and reach out if you want to learn a little bit more about Roller. The costs. So we go by swim lane. Different swim lanes have different inclusions. We've got a Light, a Pro, and a Light Pro Premium and an Enterprise. Pro, now you're really putting it on me. Pro is $595 a month. Light is $595 a month, Pro is $1095 a month, and Premium is $1450 a month. Now, there's a lot of inclusions in there. We also allow for you to jump up. So what I tend to recommend, I'm the worst salesperson in the world, go in as low as you can, the cheapest one, get used to it, build your platform out, get comfortable. When you feel like you've got a handle on that, move to the next level, and then move to the next level. They're gonna send this to my bosses. I'm gonna get in so much trouble for that. But that makes the most sense. We want to grow with your business. So we don't want you to go all out, give us the premium level subscription for 1 year, and then you fail because you overspent on subscription. That doesn't interest us. We want to see the industry go strong, and we want to help you do it.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you, Kevin. That's awesome. What a great product. So I can see why you're doing so well internationally.
Things are going well. Thank you.
Thanks
for having me. Thank you, everybody.
No problems.